The notification chimed on my phone at exactly 8:47 a.m. on my 39th birthday. A video file from an unknown number, no message attached. I should have deleted it immediately. Instead, I tapped play while stirring my coffee in the kitchen of our smart house in Edina, the kind of place where neighbors wave from their Range Rovers and everyone pretends their marriages are perfect. The first frame showed our bedroom, our bed specifically. The Egyptian cotton sheets Zoya insisted we needed, the ones that cost more than most people's rent. Then I saw her, my wife of 17 years, naked, with Vikram Doshi, her first boyfriend from college, the guy who ran that boutique gym downtown where all the trophy wives pretended to work out. I watched my daughter Mira, 16 and beautiful like her mother, walk into frame at the end. She hugged Vikram and said the words that changed everything. "I wish you were my father instead of him." The video ended. I set my phone down and finished my coffee. My hands were steady. My mind was already working. "Happy birthday to me," I muttered to the empty kitchen. "I'm Wilder Sornell, and I've spent 20 years in IT security. I know how to handle data, how to preserve evidence, how to trace digital footprints. Most people think IT guys are passive, harmless. They're about to learn otherwise." I connected my phone to my laptop and copied the video file. The metadata showed it was recorded 3 days ago at 2:30 p.m. while I was at a client meeting downtown. The original file came from Zoya's phone, though it had been forwarded through 2 other devices first. Someone wanted me to see this. Someone wanted to destroy my marriage on my birthday. I created encrypted backups on 3 separate drives, uploaded copies to secure cloud storage, and documented everything with timestamps. Then I called my attorney. "Jim, it's Wilder Sornell. I need to file for divorce. Today." "Wilder? What happened? You and Zoya seemed fine at the charity dinner last month." "I have video evidence of infidelity and parental alienation. How fast can we move?" Jim Hendricks had handled our wills and real estate deals for years. He knew I wasn't dramatic or impulsive. "If you have solid evidence, we can file by end of business today. Email me everything." I sent him the video, the metadata analysis, and a detailed timeline. Then I drafted my own summary of events, clinical and precise. No emotion, just facts. Facts win court cases. By noon, I had divorce papers ready for filing. By 2 p.m., I had changed all our shared passwords and secured our joint accounts. By 3 p.m., I was ready to drop the bomb. I opened our family group chat, the one that included Zoya, her parents, her brother Oleg, and her uncle Victor. 37 people total, all the relatives who thought I was lucky to have landed their precious Zoya. I uploaded the video with a simple message. "Filing for divorce at 4 p.m. today. Grounds, adultery and parental alienation. Case number will follow." Then I turned off my phone and drove to the courthouse. The filing took 20 minutes. I paid the fees, requested an emergency hearing for temporary custody, and walked out with official paperwork. My marriage was over. Now the real work began. When I turned my phone back on, I had 43 missed calls and 68 text messages. The family chat had exploded. Zoya's mother was demanding explanations. Her father was asking if the video was real. Oleg was threatening to come over and talk sense into me. I screenshot everything and forwarded it to Jim. Evidence of harassment would help our case. At 6:15 p.m., my phone rang. Unknown number again. "You bastard!" Zoya's voice was shaking with rage. "How dare you humiliate me like this?" I hit record on my phone app. "Hello, Zoya. I'm documenting this conversation for legal purposes. Delete that video right now. This is between us. Actually, it's between us, Vikram, our daughter, and now the family court system. You involved them when you chose to have an affair in our home. You don't understand what you're doing. Mira needs stability. I can give her that. With your boyfriend? The same boyfriend you've been seeing for how long?" Silence on the line. Then, "I'll fight you for custody. I'll tell them you're unstable, that you've been tracking me, violating my privacy. Good luck with that. I have 17 years of bank records showing I've been the primary breadwinner while you've been playing real estate agent between gym sessions with Vikram. You're going to regret this, Wilder. I have friends, people who matter in this city." "So do I. The difference is mine work in IT security, digital forensics, and family law. Your friends sell houses and gossip at yoga class." She hung up. I saved the recording and sent it to Jim with a note. Exhibit B, threats and intimidation. By 8 p.m., I was back home, sitting in my office with a scotch and a plan. The house felt different now, like a crime scene after the police tape comes down. Everything looked the same, but nothing would ever be the same again. My phone buzzed with a text from Paul Morrison, my best friend and a private investigator. "Heard through the grapevine you had an interesting day. Need backup?" I texted back, "Meet me tomorrow. Bring your camera and your sense of humor. We're going to war." The next morning, I woke up in the guest bedroom and found the locks had been changed, my own house, and I was locked out. Zoya's car was gone, and so was Mira's. They'd moved fast. I called a locksmith, then Jim. "They changed the locks on our marital home. Is that legal?" "Not without a court order. We'll fix this today. Document everything." The locksmith arrived at 9 a.m. "Oh, someone did a rush job here," he said, examining the front door. "These are cheap locks, installed wrong. You want me to change them back?" "Change them to something better, and install a smart lock system with cameras." While he worked, I walked around the house documenting what was missing. Zoya had taken jewelry, clothes, and personal items. She'd also taken Mira's laptop and phone chargers, or trying to cut off communication between us. Paul arrived as the locksmith finished. He's 41, divorced twice, and cynical enough to make me look optimistic. "So," he said, surveying the new security system, "your wife decided to redecorate your life without asking." "Something like that. What can you find out about Vikram Doshi?" "The gym guy? Already started digging when I heard his name. Want the preliminary report?" We sat in my office while Paul opened his laptop. Vikram Doshi, age 40, owns Elite Fitness on Hennepin Avenue. Divorced 3 years ago, ex-wife claimed he was cheating with clients. 2 lawsuits for harassment, both settled out of court. Current financial situation is interesting. How interesting? His gym is hemorrhaging money. Lease payments are 3 months behind, equipment loans in default. He's desperate for cash. Desperate enough to blackmail someone? Or desperate enough to marry someone with money? That afternoon, I drove to Mira's school. As her father, I still had legal rights until a court said otherwise. I waited in the parking lot until classes ended, then approached her as she walked to the pickup area. "Dad?" She looked surprised and guilty. "What are you doing here?" "Picking up my daughter. We need to talk." "Mom said I shouldn't talk to you right now. She said you're having some kind of breakdown." "Did she also tell you why I filed for divorce?" Mira looked around nervously. "She said you found some old photos or something, that you're being paranoid and jealous. Get in the car, Mira, please." She hesitated, then climbed into the passenger seat. I drove to a coffee shop near the school, somewhere public and safe. "I want to show you something," I said, pulling out my phone. "But first, I want you to know that I love you, no matter what happens between your mother and me." I showed her a still frame from the video, just enough to prove it wasn't old photos or paranoia. Her face went white. "That was taken 3 days ago while I was at work, in our house, in our bed. Dad, I can explain." "You don't need to explain anything. You're 16. You're not responsible for your mother's choices." "But I said those things about wishing Vikram was my father. I was angry at you for working so much, for never being around." "I know, and I'm sorry I wasn't around more, but that's going to change now." We sat in silence for a few minutes, then Mira asked, "What happens now?" "Now we figure out how to be a family again, just you and me." That evening, I got a call from Jim. "Emergency hearing is set for Friday. Zoya's attorney filed a counter-motion claiming you're emotionally unstable and potentially dangerous." "Based on what evidence?" "They claim you've been stalking her, that you illegally accessed her phone to get that video." "The video was sent to me anonymously. I have the metadata to prove it." "Good. We'll need that. They're also claiming you threatened her during yesterday's phone call." "I recorded that call. Or she threatened me, not the other way around." "Even better. Wilder, they're going to play dirty. Are you ready for that?" I looked around my empty house, at the new security cameras, at the evidence files organized on my desk. I've been ready since I opened that video. They started this war. I'm going to finish it. Friday morning arrived with the first snow of the season. I dressed in my best suit and met Jim at the courthouse. Zoya was already there with her attorney, Margaret Chen, a shark in designer heels who specialized in taking wealthy men to the cleaners. Zoya looked perfect, as always. Hair styled, makeup flawless, wearing a conservative dress that said, "Responsible Mother," while still showing enough curves to remind everyone why men found her irresistible. She didn't look at me. The hearing lasted 2 hours. Judge Patricia Walsh reviewed the evidence methodically. The video, the metadata, the recorded phone call, the documentation of the changed locks. "Mrs. Sornell," the judge said finally, "do you dispute the authenticity of this video?" "Your Honor, my client acknowledges that the video is real, but maintains that it was obtained illegally by her husband." "Mr. Sornell, how did you obtain this video?" "It was sent to me anonymously on my birthday, Your Honor. I have the phone records and metadata to prove I didn't record it myself." And Mrs. Sornell, do you dispute that this recording shows you engaged in adultery in the marital home? Zoya's attorney whispered something to her. No, Your Honor. Mr. Sornell, I'm granting your request for temporary custody of your daughter, pending a full hearing. Mrs. Sornell, you'll have supervised visitation rights. The marital home will remain under Mr. Sornell's control until property division is finalized. We walked out of the courthouse into the snow. I had won the first battle, but I could see in Zoya's eyes that the war was just beginning. This isn't over, she said as we reached the parking garage. I know, I replied, but you should know something about me, Zoya. I'm very good at finishing things I start. That afternoon, I picked Mira up from school and brought her home, our home. She looked around at the new security system, the cameras, the changed locks. It's like a fortress, she said. It's like a fresh start, I corrected. Your choice whether you want to be part of it. She dropped her backpack and hugged me. I'm sorry, Dad, for what I said in that video, for everything. We're going to be okay, I told her, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. I had no idea how right I was. The rumors started Monday morning. By Tuesday, they had spread through Edina's social circles like wildfire in August. By Wednesday, I was apparently a controlling, abusive husband who had driven his poor wife into the arms of another man. The first sign came when Mrs. Patterson, our next-door neighbor, crossed the street to avoid me during my morning run. Then the barista at my usual coffee shop gave me a look that could freeze Lake Minnetonka. By noon, I understood what was happening. Zoya had weaponized her social network. Paul, I called him from my office, I need you to monitor some social media accounts. Zoya's launching a character assassination campaign. Already on it, he said. She's good, really good. She's not posting anything directly. She's letting her friends do the dirty work. What are they saying? That you've been emotionally abusive for years, that you controlled her finances, isolated her from friends, threatened her when she tried to leave. Classic gaslighting playbook, except she's the one doing it. I pulled up Facebook on my laptop. Tasha Volkov, Zoya's business partner and best friend, had posted a vague message about supporting women who find the courage to escape toxic relationships. 37 comments, all from women I'd known for years, all expressing sympathy and outrage. She's smart, I admitted. She's not making specific accusations, just creating an atmosphere of suspicion. Gets better, Paul said. Check your daughter's Instagram. Mira's account showed a photo of her looking sad and tired, with a caption about family drama and trying to stay strong. The comments were full of her classmates offering support and asking what happened. I walked upstairs to Mira's room. She was doing homework or pretending to. We need to talk about social media, I said. She didn't look up from her laptop. I didn't say anything bad about you. I know, but that post makes it look like I'm the problem. Maybe you are the problem. Her voice was quiet, but there was an edge to it. I sat down on her bed. Mira, what did your mother tell you about why I filed for divorce? She said you've been suspicious and controlling for months, that you've been checking her phone, following her, accusing her of things. Did she tell you about Vikram? She said he's just a friend, that you're jealous because she has male friends. I pulled out my phone and showed her the video again, this time letting her see more of it. Her face crumpled. She's been lying to me, Mira whispered. She's been lying to everyone. The question is, are you going to help her keep lying? Mira deleted the Instagram post that night, but the damage was spreading faster than we could contain it. Thursday morning, I got a call from my biggest client, Davidson Security Systems. Wilder, we need to talk, said Tom Davidson. There are some concerns about your personal situation affecting your work. What kind of concerns? The kind where clients are asking if you're stable enough to handle their cybersecurity. The kind where people are wondering if you might have anger management issues. I drove to Davidson's office in downtown Minneapolis, a gleaming tower that housed some of the city's most successful companies. Tom was waiting in his corner office, looking uncomfortable. This is awkward, he said, but I've had 3 clients ask about you this week. Apparently there are rumors that you've been stalking your wife, that you might be dangerous. Tom, you've known me for 8 years. Do I seem dangerous to you? Of course not, but perception is reality in this business. If clients don't trust you, they don't trust us. I pulled out my phone and played him the recording of Zoya's threatening call. Then I showed him the court documents granting me temporary custody. The judge reviewed all the evidence, I said. If I was actually dangerous or unstable, would she have given me custody of my daughter? Tom reviewed the documents carefully. This helps, but Wilder, you need to control this narrative before it controls you. I'm working on it. That afternoon, I met Paul at a sports bar in St. Paul, far from Medina's gossip network. He had a thick folder of documents and a grim expression. "Vikram Doshi is more interesting than we thought," he said, spreading photos across the table. "These are from his gym's security cameras, which apparently aren't very secure." The photos showed Vikram with various women, all attractive, all wealthy-looking. "He's got a type," Paul continued. "Married women with money and absent husbands." "How many?" "At least 6 in the past 2 years. 3 are divorced now, 2 are separated. 1 is still married, but her husband travels constantly." "Any of them willing to talk?" "One might be. Jennifer Walsh, divorced 6 months ago. Her ex-husband was a surgeon who worked 80-hour weeks. She started training with Vikram, then started training with Vikram, if you know what I mean." I studied Jennifer's photo. Blonde, fit, expensive jewelry. "What happened?" "Husband found out, filed for divorce, took her to the cleaners. She got the house but lost most of the assets. Now she's working as a real estate agent, trying to rebuild her life." "Working where?" Paul grinned. "Hennepin Realty. Same company as your wife." Set up a meeting. Friday evening, I met Jennifer Walsh at a wine bar in Uptown. She was still attractive, but there was a hardness around her eyes that hadn't been there in her society photos. "You're Zoya's husband," she said when I sat down. "This should be interesting." "Ex-husband, soon. I hear you know Vikram." I knew Vikram, past tense, before I realized he was a professional homewrecker. "Tell me about that." Jennifer ordered another glass of wine before answering. "He's very good at what he does. Finds women who are lonely, neglected, looking for attention. He gives them exactly what they need: sympathy, understanding, great abs. And then he moves in for the financial aspect. Expensive dinners, weekend trips, designer clothes, all paid for by the grateful wife, of course." "How long were you involved with him?" 8 months. Cost me my marriage and about $200,000 in divorce settlement money." "Are you willing to testify about this?" Jennifer laughed bitterly. "Testify to what? That I was stupid enough to fall for a con artist? That I destroyed my own marriage for good personal training? That Vikram has a pattern of targeting married women for financial gain?" She considered this. "What's in it for me?" "Revenge, and maybe some justice. I'll think about it." That weekend, Mira had her first supervised visit with Zoya. I dropped her off at a family services center and waited in the parking lot, watching through the windows as mother and daughter sat across from each other at a plastic table. When the hour was up, Mira came out looking drained. "How did it go?" I asked as we drove home. "She cried a lot, said you were destroying our family, that you were trying to turn me against her." "What did you tell her?" "I told her I saw the video, that I know what really happened." "And?" "She said the video doesn't show everything, that you don't understand her relationship with Vikram, that it's complicated." "What do you think?" Mira was quiet for several blocks. Then, "I think she's scared. And when Mom gets scared, she lies." That night, I got a text from an unknown number. "Stop digging or you'll regret it." I screenshot the message and forwarded it to Paul and Jim. Then I installed additional security cameras around the house and activated the motion sensors. If they wanted to play intimidation games, they picked the wrong target. I've been dealing with cybersecurity threats for 20 years. I know how to protect what matters. Monday morning brought a new development. Tasha Volkov called me directly. "Wilder, we need to talk." "About what?" "About ending this before it gets worse for everyone." We met at a neutral location, a busy restaurant in downtown Minneapolis. Tasha looked nervous, which was unusual for her. She was normally as confident as Zoya, maybe more so. "Zoya's my best friend," she began, "but this situation is getting out of hand." "Which situation? Her adultery or her lying about it?" "She made a mistake. People make mistakes." 17 years of marriage, and she makes her mistake with her ex-boyfriend in our bed while our daughter watches. That's not a mistake, Tasha. That's a choice. Tasha leaned forward. "What do you want? Money? A bigger share of the assets? We can work something out." "I want my daughter. I want my reputation back. And I want Zoya to stop lying about what happened." "She's not lying. She's protecting herself." "From what?" "From you. From your anger. From what you might do if you get too angry." I stared at her. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm warning you. Zoya has friends. Powerful friends. People who care about her welfare." "Like who?" "Like her brother Oleg. Like her uncle Victor. Like people who don't think you deserve custody of Mira." I paid the check and stood up. "Tell Zoya her intimidation campaign isn't working. Tell her I have more evidence than she knows about. And tell her that if she keeps lying about me, I'll start telling the truth about her." "What truth?" I leaned down close to her ear. "Ask her about the other clients. Ask her about the special showings. Ask her how many houses she's sold on her back." Tasha's face went white. I walked away feeling like I'd finally landed a punch. That afternoon, Paul called with news. Jennifer Walsh wants to meet again, says she has something to show you. What kind of something? The kind that might change everything. We met at Jennifer's townhouse in Edina, just a few miles from my own home. She led us to her home office and opened a laptop. I kept records, she said, of everything. Receipts, photos, text messages. My attorney said it might be useful for the divorce. She showed us a folder labeled Vikram Evidence. Hundreds of documents, photos, and screenshots. He's not just a personal trainer having affairs, Jennifer continued. He's running a business. He targets specific women, studies their marriages, their finances, their vulnerabilities. Then he moves in systematically. How do you know this? Because I helped him research some of them. He told me it was just gossip, that he was trying to understand his clients better. I was stupid enough to believe him. She opened a spreadsheet showing names, addresses, financial information, and personal details about dozens of women. Zoya's on this list, Jennifer said, pointing to a row highlighted in yellow. Has been for over a year. The entry showed Zoya's real estate sales, our estimated net worth, my work schedule, and personal notes about our marriage. Someone had been planning this for a long time. There's more, Jennifer said. He has a partner, someone who helps him identify targets and gather information. Who? Jennifer clicked on another file. It was a photo of Tasha Volkov meeting with Vikram at a coffee shop, both of them looking at a tablet screen. Your wife's best friend has been feeding him information about potential targets for months, including information about your wife. I stared at the photo, pieces of a puzzle falling into place. Tasha set this up? More than that, Jennifer said. Tasha's been skimming money from real estate transactions and splitting it with Vikram. They're partners in more ways than one. Paul whistled low. This is bigger than an affair. This is organized fraud. Can we prove it? Jennifer smiled for the first time since I'd met her. I have bank records, email chains, and recorded phone calls. My ex-husband was a surgeon, remember? He taught me to document everything. Why are you helping us? Because they destroyed my life, and now they're trying to destroy yours. And because Zoya doesn't deserve to win this. That night, I sat in my office organizing the new evidence. Financial fraud, conspiracy, blackmail, extortion. This was no longer just a divorce case. This was a criminal investigation waiting to happen. I called Jim and arranged an emergency meeting for the next morning. Then I called the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit and left a message about potential wire fraud and money laundering. Zoya and her friends had declared war on me. They were about to learn that I don't just defend against attacks, I counterattack. And I never lose. The FBI took the case on Wednesday morning. Special Agent Lisa Rodriguez reviewed Jennifer's evidence for 3 hours, asked pointed questions about financial transactions, and opened a formal investigation into Vikram's operation. This is sophisticated, she told me after Jennifer left. They've been running this scheme for at least 2 years, maybe longer. Your wife might be a victim, but she's also likely a co-conspirator. What does that mean for the divorce case? It means her credibility is shot. It also means she might be facing federal charges. I drove home feeling like the tide had finally turned. But when I pulled into my driveway, I found Oleg Petrov waiting for me. Zoya's brother, 6'4" and built like a linebacker, was leaning against my front door. We need to talk, he said. About what? About you destroying my sister's life over a misunderstanding. I kept my distance, my hand on my phone. There's no misunderstanding, Oleg. She committed adultery. I have video proof. She made one mistake, one time. You're ruining her over one mistake. It wasn't one time. It wasn't one mistake. And it's not just adultery. It's fraud. Oleg stepped closer. What fraud? Ask your sister. Ask her about Vikram's business model. Ask her about the money. I don't know what you're talking about. Then you're the only one who doesn't. Oleg grabbed my arm. You need to drop this. All of it. The divorce, the custody fight, whatever else you think you're doing. I pulled out my phone and started recording. Are you threatening me? I'm advising you, as family. We're not family anymore, and if you touch me again, I'll have you arrested for assault. Oleg released my arm but didn't step back. Zoya has friends, Wilder. People who care about her. People who don't like seeing her hurt. Like who? Vikram? Tasha? The FBI is very interested in talking to all of Zoya's friends. That got his attention. FBI? Financial Crimes Unit. Turns out your sister's boyfriend has been running a con game for years. Zoya was either a victim or a participant. We'll find out which. Oleg's confidence evaporated. You're bluffing. Call her and ask. Better yet, call a lawyer. You're going to need one. I walked past him to my front door. He didn't try to stop me. Inside, I found Mira doing homework at the kitchen table. She looked up when I came in. Uncle Oleg was here for an hour, she said. He wanted me to tell him what you've been saying about Mom. What did you tell him? That you've been telling me the truth, that Mom's been lying. How do you feel about that? Mira closed her textbook. Angry, confused, sad. She's my mother, but she's been treating me like I'm stupid. You're not stupid. You're caught in the middle of something that shouldn't involve you. But it does involve me. That video, what I said about wishing Vikram was my father, that's going to follow me forever. No, it won't. In 5 years, none of your classmates will remember this. In 10 years, it'll be ancient history. What about you? Will you remember? I sat down across from her. I'll remember that you were 16 and confused and manipulated by adults who should have protected you. I'll remember that you chose to tell the truth when it mattered. Thursday morning brought a call from Margaret Chen, Zoya's attorney. Mr. Sornell, my client would like to discuss a settlement. I'm listening. She's prepared to accept a 60-40 split of assets in your favor, joint custody of your daughter, and no alimony. In exchange for dropping any criminal complaints and keeping the details of this case confidential. Not interested. Mr. Sornell, you should consider this carefully. If this goes to trial, everything becomes public record. Your daughter will have to testify. The media will be involved. The media is already involved. Your client made sure of that with her whisper campaign. What whisper campaign? The one where she's been telling everyone I'm abusive and dangerous. The one that's been damaging my business and my reputation. My client has a right to defend herself. Your client has been committing defamation. Add that to the fraud charges, and she's looking at serious legal problems. What fraud charges? I hung up. Let them figure out how much I knew. That afternoon, Paul called with an update on his investigation. Vikram's gym is about to be foreclosed on, he said. He owes 6 months of rent, equipment loans are in default, and 3 employees have filed wage claims. How long before it closes? 2 weeks, maybe less. But here's the interesting part. He's been moving money out of the business accounts into personal accounts shared with Tasha Volkov. How much money? About $200,000 over the past year. Money that should have gone to creditors and employees? That's embezzlement. That's just the beginning. I also found out where that video came from. Tell me. Tasha recorded it. She has a key to your house, courtesy of your loving wife. She set up a hidden camera in your bedroom and recorded the whole thing. Why send it to me? Because the plan was falling apart. Vikram was supposed to convince Zoya to leave you voluntarily, take half the assets, and disappear with him. But Zoya got greedy. She wanted more than half. She wanted everything. So Tasha decided to force the issue. Exactly. Send you the video, let you file for divorce, then play the victim while Vikram consoled her through the difficult process. Except they didn't count on me fighting back. They thought you'd be embarrassed into a quick settlement. They thought you'd want to keep it quiet. I laughed. They don't know me very well. Friday brought the first public crack in Zoya's narrative. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune ran a small item about an FBI investigation into financial fraud involving local businesses. No names were mentioned, but the details were specific enough that people in our social circle would recognize the story. By noon, my phone was ringing with calls from neighbors and acquaintances who had been avoiding me all week. Wilder, it's Tom Patterson from next door. I owe you an apology. For what, Tom? For believing rumors instead of asking you directly what happened. My wife feels terrible about crossing the street to avoid you. Don't worry about it. Is it true about the FBI investigation? I can't comment on an ongoing investigation. But you're not the target? I'm a witness. There's a difference. By evening, the social media narrative had shifted. Tasha's supportive posts about women escaping toxic relationships had been deleted. Several of Zoya's friends had posted vague messages about learning the whole truth before judging. Zoya called me that night, her voice shaking. You've destroyed everything, she said. My career, my reputation, my friendships. I documented your adultery and reported financial crimes to the appropriate authorities. You destroyed everything yourself. The FBI came to my office today. They seized my computer, my files, my phone records. I imagine they did. They're treating me like a criminal. Maybe because you are one. I never stole anything. I never hurt anyone. You stole 17 years of my life. You hurt our daughter. You hurt me. I made mistakes, but I'm not a criminal. We'll let a jury decide that. She was crying now. What do you want from me? What will it take to end this? The truth, all of it, on the record. And if I tell the truth, Then maybe I'll consider not pursuing civil damages for fraud and defamation. How much damages? Everything. The house, the investments, the business accounts, everything you tried to steal. That's not fair. Fair was 17 years ago when we took vows to be faithful to each other. Fair was when I worked 80-hour weeks to build our life while you were planning to destroy it. Fair is over, Zoya. Saturday morning, I took Mira to breakfast at a diner in Minneapolis, away from the Adina gossip mill. How are you handling all this? I asked. Better than I expected. Some of my friends have been weird about it, but the ones who matter are being supportive. What about your mother? I feel sorry for her, and angry and disappointed. She taught me to always tell the truth, but she's been lying for months. People are complicated. Your mother isn't evil. She just made very bad choices. Will she go to prison? I don't know. That depends on what the FBI finds and what choices she makes now. Do you want her to go to prison? I thought about that. I want her to face consequences for what she did. I want her to understand that actions have results. I want her to stop lying. And then? And then maybe we can all move forward. Sunday evening, Jim called with news. Zoya wants to meet. Just her, no attorneys. She says she's ready to tell the truth. Where? Neutral location. I suggested the coffee shop in Galleria. When? Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I'll be there. Monday morning, I arrived at the coffee shop 15 minutes early and chose a table with a clear view of all entrances. Zoya arrived exactly on time, looking exhausted and older than her 38 years. She sat down across from me without ordering anything. I'm sorry, she said, for all of it, for the affair, for the lies, for trying to turn Mira against you. Apology noted. I want to make this right. How? I'll testify truthfully in the divorce proceedings. I'll admit the adultery, the manipulation, everything. What about the financial fraud? I didn't know about that until this week. I thought Vikram was just a successful trainer. I didn't know about the other women, the targeting, the money laundering. But you knew about Tasha's involvement. Zoya hesitated. I suspected she was feeding him information about my clients. I didn't know she was recording us. You gave her a key to our house. She said she wanted to surprise you with a birthday party. She said she needed access to plan it. And you believed that? I wanted to believe it. I wanted to believe a lot of things that weren't true. We sat in silence for several minutes. Then Zoya asked, What happens now? Now you tell the FBI everything you know. You testify truthfully in our divorce. You stop trying to manipulate our daughter. And in exchange? In exchange, I don't sue you for civil damages. You get supervised visitation with Mira until she's 18. You get to keep your real estate license if the state doesn't revoke it. That's all? That's more than you deserve. Zoya started crying again. I loved you once. Really loved you. I know. I loved you too. But love isn't enough when trust is gone. Can you ever forgive me? I can stop hating you. That's the best I can offer. She nodded and wiped her eyes. I'll call the FBI this afternoon. Good. And Zoya? Yes? If you're lying to me now, if you're still trying to manipulate this situation, I will destroy you completely. I have resources you don't know about and patience you can't imagine. I'm not lying. We'll see. That evening, Agent Rodriguez called to confirm that Zoya had contacted the FBI and scheduled a full interview for Wednesday morning. She sounded cooperative, Rodriguez said, but will verify everything she tells us. What about Vikram and Tasha? Vikram lawyered up immediately. Tasha is trying to negotiate a plea deal. What kind of deal? Testimony against Vikram in exchange for reduced charges. She's claiming she was manipulated, that she didn't understand the scope of the operation. Do you believe her? I believe she's scared and looking for a way out. Whether she was a victim or a co-conspirator depends on what the evidence shows. Tuesday night, I sat in my office reviewing everything that had happened in the past 3 weeks. From birthday video to FBI investigation, from social ostracism to vindication, from broken marriage to new beginning. My phone buzzed with a text from Mira. Thanks for fighting for the truth. I love you, Dad. I texted back, I love you too. We're going to be okay. For the first time since this started, I actually believed that was true. The war wasn't over yet. There would be more court dates, more investigations, more revelations. But the tide had turned. Truth was winning over lies, evidence over manipulation, justice over revenge. And sometimes that's the best victory you can ask for.